It all started with a late-night phone call that nobody knew would change the path of history. Fans have been wondering about a possible affair between Mendeecees and Selma for weeks, and Sierra's late call might have confirmed it. Social media was flooded with rumors, screenshots, and speculation yesterday night. According to rumors that are rapidly spreading online as fans tried to piece together what really happened behind the scenes. Is there more to this tale than most people know? Or was there just a miscommunication? This is one of the most surprising developments to date, according to hip-hop and love observers. The tension, the secrets, and the quiet have only made everything worse. From every individual, Mendeecees is exhibiting unusual silence. It's for all the wrong reasons that Selma's name is popular, and Andy's supporters are clamoring for clarification. While Sierra might, fans claim to have heard the emotion in her voice, even though she did not mean for her chat to be used to expose someone. What she revealed may have destroyed multiple relationships. Shock, annoyance, and perhaps even regret. As people try to piece everything together, one question appears again throughout all of the timelines. Is this just another case of reality TV gone too far? Or did Sierra really disclose the Mendeecees' secret affair? The call came through near midnight, according to those who claim to have heard it, and it started with a silence that speaks louder than words. At first, Sierra's voice was hesitant and shaky, but it was firm enough to suggest that she wasn't engaging in idle chatter. Those who knew about the problem said she had found something she couldn't ignore. According to rumors, she came across messages, possibly even images, that implied Mendeecees and Selma had a strained relationship. Her speech tone said it all. It was not gossip, but conflict wrapped in miscommunication. She knew deep down that the truth could not be kept a secret forever, even though she didn't want to believe what she had seen. The fact that this was more than a rumor became more and more clear. She talked with weight, intensity, and that trembling edge that comes only when a secret has just turned into a storm. People who keep a close eye on Mendeecees and Yandy saw anything strange in the days that followed. Social media posts vanished, comments were disabled, and both seemed unusually quiet when Yandy, who is known for her grace and poise, started posting cryptic comments about energy and trust. Fans soon realized the connection. Either the timing was too perfect or the suffering was too great. In the meantime, Selma, who had recently been seen spending more time with the two, seemed to disappear from view. No posts, no stories, nothing. As soon as the rumors began, she looked to have vanished. People started looking into it, looking at previous photos, looking for captions, emojis, or hints that would hint at something deeper. One image kept appearing, a group photo taken at a function where Selma was displaying an overconfident smile and standing too close to the Mendeecees. Fans started rewatching shows and replaying interviews to hunt for body language clues they might have missed before. The online detectives didn't stop there. Despite the lack of evidence to support what was said, it's clear that Sierra didn't call at random. Some claim to have found texts that implied Selma may have been sharing her complex emotions with a close friend or relative. According to those near the circle, tension was already building beneath the surface when it occurred. At first, Yandy brushed the allegations off as social media chatter, but she was genuinely uncomfortable. She had seen the harm rumors could bring to relationships and knew that sometimes quiet may be seen as guilt. After noticing that Mendeecees' phone was now always facing down, that he would go outdoors to receive calls, and that his tone would alter, friends said, she started to pay more attention. Every time Selma's name was brought up, the major, surprisingly, a friend of Andy's, supposedly received a message from an unknown number that included screenshots allegedly showing conversations between Mendeecees and Selma. The screenshots were enough to send a tremendous wave of emotional distress, despite the fact that no one could confirm whether they were real. Put yourself in her position, gripping your phone while attempting to swallow your disbelief and reading statements that could confirm your worst fears. Nightmare. The couple's increasing discord was even noticed by their closest friends and family. When they appeared in public, they tried to act normally, but the atmosphere was strange. Every tiny detail was observed by fans. Yandy's eyes spoke a story of sleepless nights, and Mendeecees' smiles faded. They were once a power couple, but now their chemistry felt cold, distant, and strained. And then there was speculation about Selma. The same people who had praised her confidence suddenly questioned her intentions. Was she caught in the middle, or had she been playing a dangerous game? On the internet, supporters engaged in an endless debate, producing increasingly dramatic strands and hypotheses. Some argued that rather than exposing Yandy, Sierra's call was meant to protect him from a more severe heartbreak. Others believed that she was an expert in her field and that she was determined to expose the truth, no matter the cost. As the online conversation progressed, emotions were running high. It began to disseminate clips from earlier episodes that showed Selma appreciating Mendeecees a little too much. Plots were built from little periods of interaction. The video was slowed down, and glances were repeated. It became clear that this was not just a rumor, but a fast-spreading fire. But the fact that people were so split only made things more complicated. Some supported Mendeecees, saying he would never endanger their marriage after everything he and Yandy had been through. Others believed that where there is smoke, there is always fire. Yandy herself, meanwhile, mostly kept to herself, blogging reflectively and rarely appearing. Still, supporters often claim that denial is less effective than silence. Behind closed doors, the atmosphere was tense. Mendeecees made an effort to comfort Yandy by cautioning not to accept all she was told. Others who claimed to have insight reported that he told her, "People just want to see us fall." Instead of comforting her, his calmness made her question if he had uttered that words too much. And that's where the emotional equilibrium between stated and unspoken words comes in. Firmly entrenched, Yandy wanted to believe him, but once trust is lost, it's hard to regain. Sierra, meanwhile, felt restricted. There had been an unrestrained storm caused by her call, even because she didn't want anything to go this way. She was now involved in an uncontrollable situation. Fans kept talking, blogs offered frequent updates, and influencers produced reaction videos. It was more like a live-streamed reality show than a rumor. There was no turning back. In their hearts, everyone understood that the story was only beginning to unravel. However, they continued to seek clarification, conflict, and possibly even resolution. As days turned into weeks, the situation grew increasingly quiet. It grew more and more obvious that something within her had changed. The Yandy made an effort to keep her usual level head. She seemed to lose some of her usual vivacious enthusiasm. She seemed to keep her phone closer than ever and avoided looking at people when speaking. Those close to her observed these small changes. She was more concerned with shielding herself from possible heartache than looking for messages. Perceptive individuals claim that Yandy eventually made a discreet contact to Mans. The air was heavy with unsaid apprehension. She was no longer able to control herself. She'd remained quiet long enough. She reportedly asked him outright if he and Selma were at odds. Mendeecees immediately denied it in a calm but defensive manner. "Are you really under the impression that I would throw away what we have built?" As he spoke, he walked the room. But Yandy took a while to respond. She only watched him, searching his remarks for any trace of regret. According to some reports, Yandy mentioned Sierra's call at that point. Instead of lay-veiling accusations, she gave the facts. Sierra said, in a steady but quiet voice, "I saw something and called me." The mention of Sierra's name changed the atmosphere entirely. Mendeecees paused for a moment before asking, "What precisely did she tell you?" Yandy was devastated by just one inquiry. An innocent man wouldn't ask that question, she thought. It was the kind of question someone who was afraid of what might already be known would ask. Before the Mendeecees tried to place blame, the room reportedly fell silent again. He went on. Yandy wasn't convinced. Originally founded on love and devotion, the walls between them suddenly felt frail. Doubt had crept in, and even if he was telling the truth, it wasn't going away easily. Fans also started to notice changes. Selma made a gradual but intentional comeback on the internet, with interviews that had featured the pair together being done by one person, posts that started with "us becoming me" and heartbreak-filled fire emo comments whenever Selma's name was mentioned. In the midst of all of this chaos, she published a picture with the caption, "Not everyone can handle the truth," but the timing was enough to throw others into a tailspin. In just a few minutes, the post garnered thousands of comments, tagging Sierra, Mendeecees, and even Yandy. Many interpreted it as a cryptic attack. suggesting that Selma was not backing down from whatever tale was unfolding. The real spark was when an unidentified user began sharing what it claimed were private texts between Selma and Mendeecees. Although no one could verify their authenticity, the content was enough to convince some fans that she was escalating the situation for publicity, while others defended her, saying she was being misunderstood. The messages hinted at late-night gatherings, inside jokes, and emotional exchanges that transcended friendship. Yandy reportedly broke her silence within her inner circle when screenshots went viral, telling a close friend, "I don't even know who no longer to believe." She was aware that every action she took would be scrutinized and that every tear may make the news. Her statements revealed a sense of exhaustion resulting not only from betrayal, but also from constantly having to defend her relationship and image in the public eye. Sierra, however, was caught in the crossfire of conflict. Despite her good intentions, people started to question whether she was genuinely trying to protect Yandy or if she was exposing the issue for personal gain. In an indirect online response, she wrote, "I only told the truth because lies destroy more than silence ever could." Once again, admirers scrutinized every word, turning her comment into evidence. Mendeecees tried to downplay the fact that something real was happening. Meanwhile, the description of a post he wrote about not letting the internet ruin what you've built seemed like damage control, a request for privacy wrapped in a clever statement. But for many, it was too late. Every attempt to appear calm only served to heighten his perceived guilt in the eyes of his supporters. The emotional toll on Yandy became more apparent because the doubt had already begun to germinate, and those who saw her occasionally described her as calmer, more distant, and as if her thoughts were elsewhere, with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes even when she was in public. According to reports, Selma started spending more time away from home behind the scenes, focusing on her work and avoiding conversations that mentioned Mendeecees. Throughout this whole ordeal, Selma remained unconcerned and started sharing motivational quotes like owning your truth and not letting others control. While some found her confidence fascinating, others found it frustrating. And fans started to wonder if she had access to information that the general public did not. This kind of subliminal message fuels rumors and keeps her name trending without actually offering proof. Not in whether there was more to her story than anyone was prepared to admit. What began as a quiet late-night phone call has now evolved into a full-fledged social media confession, with everyone having an opinion from influencers to reality TV critics, and some called it the Mendeecees' nervous poise. Sierra's embarrassment and Yandy's silence all hinted at something deeper than fame. And even their industry friends started to take sides. Some claimed it was the season's biggest scandal, while others claimed it was all part of a plot development. You would be horrified if you knew what actually transpired. That statement alone, according to a close associate, reignited the fire, prompting fans to wonder if this was the beginning. It's not as easy as people assume. Regardless, it was clear that trust had been betrayed. Of the truth, one thing was certain. In a world where every look, caption, and silence becomes part of the story, this betrayal, whether real or perceived, had left everyone disturbed. As the days passed, the tension grew even more, and those even casual interactions felt tense. And those closest to Yandy noticed a change in her demeanor, despite her long-standing status as a symbol of power. There was now a slight hesitancy in her voice and a subtle tiredness in her gestures, and she reportedly tried to avoid being alone with Mendeecees. Friends said she jumped every when Yandy decided to speak with Mendeecees directly. Insiders say that was the tipping point. They reportedly exchanged questions, denials, explanations, and lengthy moments that seemed to go on for hours after she asked him to sit down. At first, she didn't raise her voice. She received a phone notification, as if she was expecting another unpleasant discovery. "I must know the truth," she added. "I can't keep speculating and acting like everything is all right." According to sources, Mendeecees' attempt to clarify that Sierra's call had overstated the issue was a result of her letting her dismay and incredulity show in every word. "You have to understand that I never meant for any of this to happen," he allegedly said. "But everything is in order," Yandy replied, his eyes uncertain. "But there's nothing between Selma and me. The way she keeps popping up around you, the messages, the timing," she said. Instead of making charges, her comments were composed but perceptive observations. As soon as tidbits of this altercation began to surface, individuals on social media began dissecting every aspect. pointing to every glance, hesitation, and pause in an attempt to determine guilt or innocence. Fans took sides, arguing over the smallest details as if they were the secret to the whole truth, and hashtags began to trend. Selma is reported to have remained calm, almost distant, during this time. There was a flurry of opinions on the internet, with some supporting Mendeecees and others applauding Yandy for calling for accountability. Fans wondered whether she was intentionally keeping herself in the conversation or if she was truly reflecting on her own experiences because of the ambiguity of her posts, which sparked more curiosity than clarity. She posted statements about truth and self-worth without naming anyone by name, which fueled rumors that she was aware that her role in the drama was being examined. "I can't let this define me." Yandy was said to have taken a serious emotional toll, and her friends saw her sitting up late contemplating and deciding what to do next. She was consumed with figuring out how to handle the situation without losing herself, in addition to the potential betrayal. Fans reportedly found resonance in her statement to a close friend, "I have to stay strong for myself and my kids," which sparked conversations about empowerment and self-respect in the face of loss. Meanwhile, the alleged letters between Mendeecees and Selma circulated widely, suggesting late-night conversations that went beyond simple friendship, though their authenticity was not confirmed. The story affected more than just the couple. Admirers quickly interpreted them as evidence of an affair, while others argued that nothing could be confirmed without context. As experts and commentators rushed in, examining the timing, tone, and intent of each communication, the debate heated up. Kirk and Rashida, who had also been publicly criticized, reportedly offered Yandy support and advice, saying to the means, "Sometimes being right doesn't matter if you've already lost trust." Some friends and family members reportedly had to choose sides, leaving them stuck in the middle. Every social media post and public appearance sparked rumors among admirers. And when Yandy shared a photo of herself smiling at a gathering, people praised her for her fortitude and said she looked stunning in spite of the storm. Despite the council's good intentions, it didn't seem to be taken seriously because tensions were still high. Additionally, according to some sources, Mendeecees repeatedly attempted to explain the situation to their mutual acquaintances in an attempt to get their opinion or advice. The frequent defenses only served to confirm the sense that something was wrong, even as each post changed from being merely content to being a statement and an example of inner fortitude in the face of chaos. Fans debated whether repeated explanations meant guilt or innocence, and the controversy spread to blogs, forums, and live commentary streams. The story continued to dominate headlines as the weeks went by, with every subtle interaction between the three becoming the focus of fans discuss the authenticity of sources. The authenticity